You're listening to the Otasso Outdoors Podcast.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. The boys are back in the pod bunker.
Did we leave? Oh, no.
No, we're
We didn't go offsite. Okay.
just steady staying. What is up, friends? Welcome back to the Otasso Outdoors Podcast. I am Caleb. I'm your host. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Reed Robinson,
Howdy.
Hunter Grishke. Ew. Just the three of us tonight, which is awesome.
Like the good old days.
Just like
the three of us.
the good old days with we started with potato audio and we've kind of worked our way up till now. You don't have to stay strapped on that volume knob anymore. So that's a good thing. If you are joining us for the first time, you're likely to find one of three segments. Segment number one is What You Got Buddy. That's where we bring headlines, articles, and we read them and then discuss them at length. Segment number two
is our Spotlight series where we search our network of people in the outdoors industry and we bring them on the podcast, figure out who they are, what they do in the outdoors, make a splash in it, and bring you guys along for the ride. Segment number three
is our head-to-head game show series where we have a quiz master, ask a bunch of questions to each other, answer them, see who knows more, and crown a winner at the end.
Sweet.
I think we just nailed that with the end of the song.
It was perfect.
But it's not over.
That's right.
Still running. Before we get rolling today, let's just do a quick merch check. Hunter is rocking the Otasso Classic 5-panel trucker hat. Available at OtassoOutfitters.com. I'm not wearing anything. I am rocking a hat, though. We met these guys recently at a trade show that we were walking around. Northern Shed is the name of their company, and they've got some cool hats, really cool logos, and all that jazz. So I'm rocking that tonight, and Reed's just rocking.
Dude,
Reed's rocking himself, man.
Dude, this
That's
is
all
a
that
classic
matters.
Reed Robinson work. Browning hat, Kenneth Brothers sweatshirt, got a Carhartt t-shirt on.
What you drinking there, buddy?
This is the Jocko Go Sour Apple. I was a little groggy today, so I'm currently sipping on some Real Energy Zero Crash Balanced Energy Focused Increased Supports Memories.
This is not an ad. We are not sponsored.
Nootropic formula. It's got shrooms in it.
He's going to be dialed. Guys, you clicked on it, so you know what it is today. We've got What You Got Buddy. So without further ado, who wants to start us off for today?
I'll start.
Hunter Grishke,
I'll let her
What You Got Buddy.
Alrighty. Let's see here. DNR cancels its shortest fishing season, citing overharvesting concerns and lack of ice.
Is this the Sturgeon?
It is. It is. All right. Sturgeon season at Black Lake near Sheboygan is a big draw for anglers, with more than 630 people registering in 2023. However, anyone aiming to catch one of these 6 fish authorized for harvest this year or weekend will have to wait until next year. In a statement released Friday, the DNR shared concerns that marginal ice conditions and depleting ice on Black Lake would lead to an excessive harvest of the fish with limited numbers of the DNR personnel on the ice. This is the first time the season has been canceled ever. Lake sturgeon are one of the oldest species in the Great Lakes and are considered threatened in Michigan due to habitat loss and overfishing. The DNR has banned commercial fishing of lake sturgeon and closely regulates sport fishing. So that's a little intro there.
Why do you think they were concerned about over-harvesting?
Did you say the quota was 6 fish?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we've talked about in the past. It's
Okay, yeah,
it's the spear fishing, right? Where they cut the
Spearfishing,
hole in the ice and it's like a hey go, and then as soon as they hit the 6 fish, it's done.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like 15 minutes.
Right.
Well, not
Yeah.
that, but like sometimes.
Quick.
Yeah, it's real fast.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing shuts down like bam.
Okay, so they canceled it because was it too much of with thin ice? It was too much of a liability risk, and they couldn't have COs out there.
I'm curious how the thin ice was, or
well,
lack of ice was an over harvest.
What I'm thinking in my head is that it's easier to get them with thinner ice because it's easier to locate them or see them, or I don't know. Because I feel like that's weird because it's saying in here that the ice is what was causing the potential over,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe, okay, there are situations where thinner ice leads to more clarity.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm thinking.
more clarity and lack of snow. So maybe you could have guys stationed way outside of your hole and be like, yo, you've got one over here.
Exactly. It's saying marginal ice conditions and depleting ice on Black Lake would lead to an excessive harvest of the fish.
we got to figure out a way
What's
to.
marginal ice mean? Small amounts?
Yeah, so it's probably more centrally located. Like, I mean, I'm guessing you don't have as wide of an expanse to be able to go out and get on ice.
But then, I mean, right after that, it mentions with limited numbers of DNR personnel. So is it because they don't want the personnel on the ice, or is it because the ice gives advantage when it's thin?
There's maybe less. Okay. Clear ice indicates that there are fewer impurities in the water. As it turns out, the color of ice depends on the various factors. If the water is frozen in a singular direction, the impurities and air will be forced out in the same direction, leaving the ice clear except for a small section.
Frozen in the same direction.
In a singular direction.
Singular.
So maybe if the wind is like blowing in one specific direction.
Oh, yeah, so it's not trapping air bubbles?
Potentially.
That's a weird thing.
When water freezes, it tends to be clear at first, as forming crystals lattice push air away from the point of freezing into the middle of the cube. Science. But in my mind, there were two factors with that. It's probably thinner ice gives you more visibility, and probably from a liability standpoint, they couldn't have as many DNR personnel out there actually tracking, because they're going to have, I'm sure during that, they've got COs stationed all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're using radios to communicate like, hey, we got one over here. Hey, we got one over here. And then all of a sudden, if there's not enough of them, whoops, we accidentally harvested 10 instead of 6.
Yep.
Is it going to have that much of an impact on the ecosystem, though?
I mean, they're pretty heavily regulated.
I mean, they are heavily regulated.
You said this is Black Lake?
Yeah.
Black Lake,
How many sturgeon are in Black Lake?
Yep.
Mature. Sexually mature.
Probably not that many.
Yeah. If you have it dialed down to a number like 6, I guess I'm dumb, and it probably is like that's what it can handle.
Yeah.
Man, I am just trying to figure out. You'd think that they'd have it set up on a system where, kind of like you mandatorily have to report your deer, that they would have just an app set up that says like, hey, we just tagged a fish, and it's just like live feedback.
But what if 2 guys spear at the same time?
Yeah, because what if you're on fish 5, 2 guys spear, you're at 7?
I mean, that could happen. I'm sure it does every year, but like that'd be quicker than word of mouth, like a CO running around, right? Like the second the spear is dropped into a fish, you have to have somebody reporting within like 2-person per shanty, and one's a reporter, one's a spear. I feel like that'd be such an easy system to have where you wouldn't even need. I mean, you would have COs running around on the ice, sure, but like
it does seem like it would be easier. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I don't know why they haven't implemented that, but
I'm trying to. It's just everywhere I'm reading here is saying the depletion of ice on Black Lake, there was cause of concerns about excessive harvest and inability to effectively track harvests. That's pretty much what you were saying.
Like they just can't get from shanty to shanty quick enough.
Maybe because there was like, you know how sometimes they freeze in weird patterns.
Yeah.
You got big chunks
water
of
here, ice. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't just like hop. I bet you anything. Normally they've got sleds out there, and they're able to rip between shanty to shanty, and it was too heavy to get sleds out there.
Probably.
That'd probably.
But it's not too heavy for shanties.
Well, most of these guys have pop-ups.
I feel like when I watched videos of guys over, especially like in Wisconsin, they're all using solid shanties.
You're saying like hunting blind.
Yeah.
Thick. Like,
Yeah, on skis.
Yeah. I've seen those. Those are thick.
Have you
Those are
seen the
heavy
ones that
boys.
are like tow behind trailers? It's just a full on
Oh,
trailer.
yeah.
Have
Yeah.
just drop down. Dude, my buddies have those over in Minnesota. Holy cow! They call them their ice castles.
The
And they
best
are
are the
full on ice castles.
the best are the guys that take like the Ford Econoline vans, and they cut
I've
the
seen
holes in the bottom,
Yep.
and all the chairs are in the back facing each other.
Yep.
And there's just like, or the campers. Have you seen the full blown campers with like beds and TVs and Wi-Fi? It's
Well, that's what I'm saying.
crazy.
Like they're trailers that are like fully enclosed trailers, and they have a drop down axle system where the axles fold up into the side of the trailer, and the whole thing just sits right down on the ice. And I mean, it's a full on camper sitting on the ice, like nicer than some people's houses.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Home away from home.
There's a couple other articles I'm reading that are saying that it was canceled due to unsafe ice conditions.
See, that's so
Okay.
much easier
Like,
to say.
Yeah.
Instead of being vague about like we're worried about over harvesting.
Yeah.
Like
the,
on.
the ice was then it was unsafe.
We just took the kids down to the Shed Aquarium last week
Oh, it's a cool
to
place.
celebrate Petey Bug's birthday, and they have like a big old tank full of like, I don't know, it's probably 6 sturgeon. They have river sturgeon and black sturgeon, or lake sturgeon, and you can like reach in the tank and pet them and play with them and stuff.
that's
dude.
cool.
Oh my gosh, it was so sweet. Like I had more fun sitting there petting the sturgeon than I did anything else on that tour.
They're
I'm like,
dinosaurs, man.
they really are. You can
They're
actually
so
feel
cool.
their like those ridges, or their are they scoots? I don't know what you call the
I don't know
plates.
what you
The
call them
plates on
either.
the back.
I like scoots. It sounds good.
Scoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can like feel the scoots on their back, and like they're just impressive. And then their skin, dude, is so soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go from like this rubbery soft skin, and so Eden, she's 4, and she's real smart. And she couldn't get her hand far enough down into the tank to actually pet them. And you're supposed to only like use like 2 fingers on the top of their back and lightly kind of stroke them as they swim by. And I was like, it just ain't not cutting it. Like, I wanted to hug them. And so Eden couldn't get her hand down in far enough to actually pet him. And so like one came swimming along, and the guy wasn't looking. And I reached down in the tank and like get up underneath this thing's belly and like kind of like
Lift
tickle it up. Yeah. And I'm like coaxing it up with my arm. And I'm like, Petey, get over here. And she's like reaching in and petting the thing and like, dude, all over this thing. Like, loved it. And it was just so cool because this fish weighs like 40 pounds and you're sitting there just kind of like slowly coaxing it up. And like, they're harmless.
So
dude.
cool.
So beautiful. And, it takes them, I can't remember the age of a sturgeon. Did they live to like 60?
I don't know the specific age, but old.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like these fish are, I mean, first of all, prehistoric. They've been around forever.
Forever.
Yeah. And then they just look so cool. And like, it takes years to get to that size.
I found another article here that said DNR officials say that it is very difficult to keep close tabs on fishermen when the ice conditions are poor. Which I think backs up what we were saying. Like you'll have pockets where it's really soft and you navigating between, you might have guys stationed in different areas and who knows what the protocol is. We should get somebody on that has done it before. If you have participated in that in like Black Lake, drop in the comments and let us know how it's usually set up. Is there one CO per shanty, or is it like there's grid?
No way.
There's
There's-
no,
yeah, there's
or is
no
it
way.
grid? Is it grids of guys where they just bounce from place to place and they've got radios and that's why they couldn't do it.
Typically I've seen it where, there's only certain spots I'm guessing that you can, well, I don't know. Like, typically it's like right outside one central location. And it's like all the shanties are like kind of in one spot. And,
Are sturgeon school fish?
no.
Okay. So they could be anywhere.
Yeah. And I've seen it where, like guys are just, I would assume that, somebody just pokes their head out of their shanty and yells like fish on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody in the area kind of knows. That's how I would interpret it, but it doesn't sound like that's the case here. To which, how hard would it be to have an instant upload app that you just log into and whoop?
I'd really like to see like a grid of the map of where you can actually go on Black Lake, or if there's specific spots you can and can't go.
I mean, they say 630 people. So
That's how many participated?
630.
In what, 2 to 3 per shanty?
I mean, you would guess probably.
There's no way you're sitting alone in a shanty hunting a sturgeon.
Probably 2 to 3.
I would guess
So-
there's 1 or 2 guys out there that are just legends that are like, I hunt alone.
I hunt solo. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I'm a solo sturgeon hunter, solo sturgeon slayer.
Black Lake is 10,130 acres.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
With a max depth of 50 feet.
Oh, it's not that deep.
They've got to have an area because that'd be way too hard to keep track of that. Because if there was one guy on one end, one guy on the other, and this guy gets a fish, how are they going to know?
It's just crazy to me that they're inland like that. Like I don't picture sturgeon as an inland lake fish.
That's only 7,000 acres less than Charlevoix.
It's that big.
Charlevoix 17,000 acres.
With a max depth of 109.
No, it's deeper than that.
120?
122.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it is 120.
Right out.
I never
front.
would have guessed.
Yeah, right
that.
out by where his place is.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's spooky
That's
because
that's spooky.
no, it's really weird because you'll come off the shore point right there, and it's like 5 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet, 40 feet, 60 feet, 90 feet, 120. You're like, whoa! It's just whoop, right now.
That's 122 feet's the deepest spot.
Wow.
Good call.
Here's what want to know what's crazy is the average depth in the South Arm is deeper than all of Black Lake.
Really?
Yep. So it makes you wonder how many sturgeon are in Lake Charlevoix.
Yeah, because I think if there are sturgeon, they'd be in the South Arm, coming up into that river there.
Probably.
Plus, it's so scuzzy down there.
It's gnarly.
It's a different lake. You've ever been like all the way down there?
Oh yeah, all the way to the nature preserve.
There's a nature preserve?
Yeah, at the end.
I've never been there.
You got to go under the bridge in East Jordan, and then you end up in the nature preserve. We did that in a fishing boat one time. It looked a little sketch.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's always fun jumping from like lake to lake through those little channels and passages.
You ever done the channel across Michigan through Elk Rapids?
Mm-mm.
There's something where you can go down to Elk Rapids, and then there's a river that goes all the way across the state, and you get into Lake Huron.
Well, that's cool.
And it's a no wake zone the whole way.
Oh wow!
But it's deep enough you can get most boats through.
That's really cool. We used to do the one up in Indian River a lot where
maybe that's it. No, it's Elk Rapids.
Yeah, well, Indian River you can get from Burt Lake to there's another one. We used to take it all the time in Grandma and Gramps pontoon. It's just fun putzing down the river, no wake the whole time, and then you pop out somewhere. Up on let's see. We used to go from Leech Lake to Steamboat Lake. And it was like you'd have to go through like all these lilies and like stuff like that. We'd take the jet skis up in there, and you'd always like without fail every time suck up a bunch of weeds in the impeller. You had to hop out in the weeds and start like yucking it out of there, and it was brutal. But then you get up to Steamboat Lake, and it was like awesome up there. That thing really works. Like I'm wired.
Yeah, no, it is Indian River. Indian River, it'll get you all the way into Burt Lake, and then you go to Mullet Lake, and it will dump you out into Lake Huron on the other side.
Really?
Yeah, it's Indian River.
Yeah, that's a really fun little passage.
You can do a whole little loop all the way around under the Mackinac Bridge. You can do a full circle, and it all starts in Little Traverse Bay, right up by Harbor Springs. You go in.
Dude, we should do that in a little sailboat. The Sunfish.
It's a long trip. That's scary.
10-hour trip.
I'm cowboy. Oh, dude, it'd be like 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm cowboy.
I'd do it in a little boat with like a 40 horse, something comfortable. We can keep some snacks in.
Do it in Dirty Gertie.
I wouldn't trust that one.
Dude, it's sketch taking Gertie across the lake. There's been a couple times where Gertie's almost killed us like a few times.
If we could buy like a reliable boat, like a whaler, like a little whaler.
You don't need a whaler when you got a little 12-foot Dirty Gertie Evinrude 15 horse on the back.
See, I'm not. It's not the Indian River area I'm worried about. It's the going
it's the
up.
Indians.
It's the Straits of Mackinac.
Dude, I would love to go under the Straits of Mackinac. I should do that this summer in my little 11 3/4 foot sailboat. Just right through the Straits.
Scary.
It's a lot of fun. The bigger the waves are with that little boat, the more fun it is.
That's a long ass trip.
I wouldn't go from Charlevoix like through Charlevoix up around the tip.
You just dump it in the water.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah. I'd like go up to the Black Sky Park or whatever, Dark Sky Park.
What a rabbit trail!
Wow,
I love it. This is what you got, buddy's all about. Reed, what do you got, buddy?
I'm getting there.
He wasn't prepared.
I am prepared. I just didn't have it in my hand. You called it so quick. So if you're going to be looking for a Mr. Christopher Brumwell and Andrew McDonald hunting in the woods For the next 4 years, you will not find them, and they will also be short $10,000 for getting caught in a worldwide hunting ban for killing a moose inside of a national state park.
Ooh. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Great choice, gentlemen.
What state park?
Earlier this month, 2 poachers pled guilty to killing a bull moose in Alaskan National Park back in September of 2021 during their hearing at a federal courthouse in Anchorage on February 23rd. Christopher Brumwell and Andrew McDonald struck a plea bargain that includes 4 years of probation, worldwide hunting, $10,000 in pieces of various fines and restitution. The plea agreement requires that they adhere to a 4-year-long worldwide hunting ban. That's crazy.
Worldwide. Wait, who has the ability to make that worldwide?
Well, you're close enough to Russia that I'm sure that the Russians are in on it.
Or is it because you're a U.S. citizen?
And you're close enough to Canada that I'm sure that they're like, no, not cool, our moose too, eh?
Yeah.
But, and like, where else do you want to hunt other than Africa? And okay, but let's see. It was September 20th, 2021. They shot and killed a moose inside of Dry Creek region of Denali National Park. 3 groups of hunters witnessed the illegal kill and separately reported the incident to law enforcement. They meticulously skinned out the skull and packed out the meat in 50-pound game bags and trucked it about 800 yards outside of the kill location or a concealed location with their ATVs. It sounds like they were texting back and forth on a Garmin InReach system that they eventually had subpoenaed, and all of their text messages came back and forth saying like, yeah, we need to stash this. People are watching. We're getting caught. So
they knew what they were doing. I was hoping at the beginning of this that it was just like our Onyx glitched and somehow we ended up 800 yards inside of the park.
Yeah.
I'm always about giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep. So they killed it, and then this is the part that I found kind of interesting. NPS rangers returned to the site of the illegal moose kill and packed out the moose meat that Brumwell and McDonald left behind. Though the kill site was scavenged by a bear, the crew was able to recover 76 pounds of moose meat, which it later donated to Alaska Department of Safety Roadkill Salvage Program.
I can't believe they left that much behind.
Well, so what had happened was they were slowly packing it out in 50-pound bags, and they noticed like the next day that there was people that were like watching them do this inside a national park.
You mean there were people like up on the road with binoculars with
correct
like families?
Exactly.
What
like
the heck?
Like 100 yards away, they're like watching these people like pack out this moose. So they're trying to do it kind of slowly and like carefully under the cover of either night or just without making too much of a ruckus. So it sounds like what they would do was
with their ATVs.
Yeah, so it sounds like they would like go to the moose, skin some stuff up, quarter it out, put it in bags, and then move the bags from the kill site to a stash location and then come back. And so they were trucking it kind of that way, just slowly moving stuff out. And I guess 3 different people witnessed it and landed them a worldwide hunting ban.
Wow.
What would incentivize you to want to do that in a state park?
So that's my question is, like, how lusty do you have to get? And what would trigger you to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this?
Is there a picture of the moose?
They don't give a really good picture of the rack. It's like,
because like that's, I mean, was that a world class bull? And it was just they saw it and they're like, ooh,
I don't think so. They don't give like any. No, they've kept that pretty much on lockdown, and they don't give any good like inches or scores of it.
Like, in what world do you tell yourself, like, this is worth it? Like, let's do this.
The only situation I could ever think is if you were further enough back in to where you knew you weren't going to get caught, but clearly they were close enough to where hikers or some kind of person was near enough by that they could witness it, unless it was guys that were with them.
I mean, like,
they got skittish.
It's there's a level of like, I gotta have that for everybody. Where it's like if you're on somebody else's property, let's scale it down. Let's say on the other side of the neighbor's fence, there stands a gorgeous, typical Pope and Young piebald buck, and he's just on the other side of the fence. You going for it?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Albino.
Nope.
Boone and Crockett.
Nope.
Wow, you guys are good.
We're synced too. That was good. That
The
was
only
really good.
okay, so here's the thing. The only scenario that I would ever entertain is I'm out shed hunting and I look just across the property line and there's like a really good shed laying there. I might walk over and pick up that shed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's different.
I will
So-
never kill an animal on someone else's property.
But there is a point for somebody that it's like they want it that bad that they're willing to go there.
I had it this year. I was in my stand and Pincher was in the cornfield 25 yards broadside on the neighbor's property this year and I didn't shoot him. I was waiting for him to cross.
There's always a chance or possibility that your neighbor is hunting on that other side of the field and he can see that animal. He sees it get shot and is like, who just shot that? That's on my property.
Yep.
That's what's always in my head because I know where my neighbors hunt and I know they can see everything. So when that deer is standing, he could be 35 yards or he could be, I have a spot where it's 25 yards, but I'm not going to shoot it. There's just no way. I'm not going to shoot it.
Just to let you guys know, after this, we're going to be enrolling Reed in a 3 hours ethics course.
I'm not saying I do it because like I've hunted property lines and I haven't shot over property lines.
Between episode What You Got Buddy 57, where he justified killing a 213-inch deer
I remember.
out of season,
Yeah.
to now, we're really toeing the line here.
This is what I'm saying is like everybody has that point. Like, and for some people, it's a shed on a different property line where it's like, yeah, no big deal. But it's like still,
That would still be like, I didn't say no big deal. Like that would be,
Still gets your heart racing.
I would not. Yeah, that would be a big moral battle. Honestly, I'd probably feel bad about it later that afternoon. Go knock on their door and hand it to them.
fair enough. And once again, I'm not a poacher sympathizer. I don't want to see poachers win. I want to see them get caught every time. I'm just saying, like, for everybody, there's that point where it's like, yeah, I lapsed or I knew I was wrong and I had to have it.
I know what you're trying to say. I get it.
Even like walking.
That's a big hurdle to get to the point where
think
you're
about
in
this.
a freaking national park.
Think about this though. Like you're walking through like a national park or even a state park here in Michigan. You look down, you see an arrowhead. Are you going to leave it? Or are you going to pick it up?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's. I get what you're saying, but
and that's what I'm
It
saying.
sounds
Like,
like a living
an
animal, though, like-
arrowhead versus taking the life of an animal and then packing 700 pounds. That's a
Yeah.
big difference.
well,
Big difference. You can't even compare the two.
you're right, but what I'm saying is like there's a point for everybody, and some people's point is just way less. Than ours.
That's what I'm saying. How insane do you have to be to get to that point?
Bat crap crazy.
Yeah, bonkers.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like for some people, they
That's
do
next
they
level.
do just enough, often enough that it's like
What did
about
they
this
shoot
thing?
it with again?
I don't know. It didn't say anything about what they shot it with. It was really vague, kind of in that. It was
I
dumb.
wonder if it was. I mean, a bow, because I mean, if they were using
38
a gun,
Wid Mag with thermals and a silencer and night
mounted
vision.
mounted on a drone.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's brutal.
But it's like I can think of other scenarios, like people that we know that have been walking around out in areas and have looked down and seen things and picked them up. That are like, that's a big no-no. You're not supposed to pick that up. But it's like,
You
I
mean
would-
like grabbing a dead head without doing a salvage tag kind of thing?
yeah? Because like, if you think about it, it's like whatever. It's just it's a
some
deadhead.
people just don't know.
Some people
That's
don't
the
know.
other thing too. Is like
Yeah.
deadheads and
Well,
stuff. some people just
I'm sure
don't
these
know.
guys didn't know. you
Well,
know?
Yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah.
Denali National, what? Yeah,
This is a park? Huh?
I'm just saying, like, there's got to be a point for everybody that you're just like, I can't not have that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a bad person. Like we, what did Gracie call me earlier? Klepto something?
A kleptomaniac.
Yeah, there's some things I see and I'm like, I gotta have that. Road signs, certain road signs, dude, gotta have them. I pay taxes; they can take those.
Jeez. We're going to get sued. Someone's
The little,
get a knock on the door of the
Weird.
pod bunker.
we were talking about that earlier. The little yellow buttons on diesel pumps. You just grab those, snap them off, and I gotta have them.
Why?
I
To
just,
each their own, man.
dude, I got like
These-
40 of them things in my toolbox. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
Why?
I just I don't know, dude.
Guys,
Keeps life exciting.
jump into the comments on this one and let us know if you like stealing stuff too.
It's a lot of
and or killing.
No, so here's the thing. Well, that's interesting. I don't steal things. Like, I don't go to stores and steal things. I think that's super wrong because you're directly stealing from like somebody's business. But I know. There's enough of a separation for me that I'm just like, gotta have it.
But it's still a business.
I know.
That Speedway has to pay to replace that button. The state's not going to come in and
justification. It's fine.
I might out myself on this one, but my favorite thing that I have is I took the I-69 road sign, like Interstate 69, dude. And I had people like calling me saying like, I will pay you for that. And
oh yeah, well I was talking to a buddy of mine that so for those of you listening that are not in the mid-Michigan area, there's two freeways that go. One is 96 and the other is 69.
One you're fighting, one you're anyway.
and the 60, so normally all these signs are just bolted on.
Yeah, 10 millimeter wrench will do it.
Yeah, 10. He would know. Anyway, but the word on the street is I have a buddy who has a connection with somebody in the DOT, and they actually started welding the 69 signs on.
They did that one.
So they can no longer unbolt them. Like they're all heat welded. The nuts are on the back. Because they were being stolen left and right.
Yeah, it's funny. Wow. my mom was like, "Son, do you know what that means?" I'm like, "No, Mom."
No, I just thought it was cool.
I grew up on that highway, Mom. It just sentimental.
It just reminds me of home. How many dorm rooms at Michigan State have the same sign?
I think
frat houses.
I think Farm Lane has to be the most stolen sign on campus.
Why?
Because Farm Lane is iconic.
Oh,
there's
like
gonna be a stake on it.
Or?
Oh, dude, no. I've been eyeballing the 4 years that I was at MSU, or 3 years, I can't remember. I was eyeballing Farm Lane from every angle. Like, and so MSU got really smart about it too, because they don't have a like typical nut on the back. They have like basically just a rivet. Like they started riveting their signs on too, because people steal.
Geez, then like for the next week, I'm gonna have like black SUVs sitting down at the end of the road, all because of you.
I paid for it.
You're still justifying it.
Yeah, I paid for it. Like I figure I could take a couple roadsides in my life.
I love it.
Should we switch this segment from Whatcha Got Buddy to Reed Justifies?
This week Reed justifies this felony.
Oh my god!
I think it's a misdemeanor. Yeah, because it's under. Well, no, there's a little tag on the sign on the back that tells me what I can do. Something $100 fine. I can't remember. I didn't do it. It was all a joke.
Unbelievable.
Read the disclaimer.
Caleb.
Oh my gosh.
Buddy.
What a train wreck of an episode.
We might have to bleep all that.
All right.
The more I think about
we
it.
run it. You buried yourself.
Uncut.
Nearly 2/3 of Michigan's Upper Peninsula hunters rate the 2023 deer season as poor. Marquette, Michigan, the Michigan DNR's annual Upper Peninsula Deer Camp survey from the 2023 firearms season confirmed that deer sightings and hunter success were down significantly from the year before, especially in the region's western counties. Across the UP, hunters who participated in the survey reported seeing 2.2 deer per hunter per day compared to 3.4 in 2022. The year only with lower average deer sightings per day was 2015, following a severe winter when then the average was 1.6 deer seen per day per hunter. Interestingly, the highest average number of deer seen per day during the 23 season was November 27th and 28th at 2.9 and 3.0 deer per hunter. The percentage of hunters who shot...
Peninsula, you said?
No, the upper.
No.
The percentage of hunters who shot a buck over the entire UP was down 19%, down to 19% from 24% in 2022. So it went from 24% down to 19 last year.
5% drop. That's big.
In 1 year.
That's really big.
Yeah.
The lowest buck hunting success across the region recorded in camp was also in 2015, and that was 14%. The success rate was also 19% in 2014. The highest bucks was 2018 at 33%. The numbers of fawns observed per 100 does during the 2023 gun season across the UP was 44 compared to 53 in 2022.
Wolves.
The lowest number of fawns for every 100 does, according to the survey, was 40 and 41 during 2013 and 14. Some 77% of participating camps felt there were fewer deer in the area. 19% thought the numbers were the same as 2022, and 4% thought there were more whitetails. About 2/3 of the respondents, 66%, rated the season poor. 25% thought it was fair. 11% said it was good, and only 2% thought it was excellent. I bet the 2% were killing big bucks on in state parks.
Isle Royal, what?
That's interesting.
Wow.
Because we have had very mild winters in like the last 2 or 3 years, especially up there.
Yeah.
There's not been anything crazy. So to go from 22% down to 19%
That's
for
pretty
bucks.
bad.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder why.
riddle me this.
What could it be?
Yep. So jump in the comments. How many wolves do you guys think there are in the UP?
It's not 700.
No.
It is more.
Well, we talked about that though. The DNR set up several trail cams and they confirmed 700 wolves, individual wolves. So you know how it goes. Like I'm running freaking 14 trail cams at a property down there, and I'll go all season without seeing a buck, and then all of a sudden 1 week he just happens to walk in front of that right camera. So you're telling me that that's just the wolves they're seeing, or they're not reporting it. But do we want to open that can of worms?
Yeah, I was going to say, do we want to open the can of worms of like, are there things that the DNR withhold? Like obviously cougars, yeah. But like, are there other things in statistics like that the DNR withholds because they're just like...
I mean, you would think so.
But is it, at the end of the day, is it just an avoidance of having to create management plans? Is that the end all be all with all of this?
Well, it's like there kind of is a management plan, and I think, well, there's already a management plan in place, and it's just like, does it scale? Does it have to change because
it's a sustainable population?
Yeah, there's a lot, but does it have to change because there's too many wolves? Like, well, yes, like you want to keep it between a range, but like, okay, now we have 2,000 wolves instead of the 600 quota that we want. Like, does that put them in a position where it's like we have to go kill wolves now, and it's going to be a cull that we are sanctioned to do, or is it going to be like, okay, now we're going to start pushing for?
Well, open season's going to generate more tax, more revenue. If you think about
That's
it,
true.
Because like if it's just like, oh, the DNR is going to be the one to maintain a cull, how much money is that going to cost as opposed to holding lotteries? Do you know how many people in the state of Michigan would pay if they came to you and they said the lottery to get in for wolf hunting, our quota is 150 wolves, and you pay $150 or $200 to get your name in the running for that?
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it?
I'd do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Times,
that's once in a lifetime.
Yeah. Times how many people that would do that? Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So that would be a huge revenue stream.
You think it'd be hundreds of thousands? I'm thinking like tens.
I'd guess 35,000.
It's oddly specific.
Yeah. Maybe 37.
Yeah.
37.
Okay. Yeah. I think there'd be a large chunk of people taken out because it's a hot button topic.
Yeah.
Go kill a wolf.
The majestic side of it.
I'd still do a soft pillow mount with it. Put him right here. Pose him in the chair.
With or without the red rocket chilling?
Without.
Really?
I just think that would be just such a killer home defense mechanism. Like someone comes to break in your house, they walk up to the front door and they look down the hallway and they just see a massive wolf laying there on the floor. Right?
Can we talk about the 3 different ways to say wolf?
Wolf,
woof, and wolf.
Wolf.
Wolves.
It's not wolf.
It's wolves.
Yeah, but some people you'll sometimes hear people say like, yeah, I saw a wolf. Wolf.
That's a woofer.
How many
But
many wolves do you think are in the UP?
dude, the wolf is what's funny to me. It's like, yeah, there's a wolf. Like wolf.
Sorry, what's a woof?
Right, but
They're also the ones that wear quocks.
Deers?
That's crazy, man.
crazy quacks.
There's so many wolves in the UP.
So many wolves. Yeah.
Oh god.
Not making fun of it, people. Speech impediment.
Not at all. Not at all.
This is just a train wreck, guys. Should we just cut it?
Hey, it's shed season. You guys find anything?
I found a little one. It actually should be down here. I left it inside.
Is it
I haven't looked hard since then because it's been maple syrup season too.
syrup or syrup?
Syrup.
Defend.
It's definitely syrup.
Why?
You say syrup?
No.
Okay,
Unless
then
I'm
it's
like,
syrup.
unless I'm
The people
Syrup.
that say syrup are usually wearing pants that are two sizes too tight, and
Hey, I'm your guy.
they're sitting in a cafe drinking a cortado.
I don't even know what a cortado is. Isn't that kind of a cigar?
No, a cortado is like a French espresso with a little bit of steamed milk in it.
Dude, I could use that with some too small pants.
They're just sitting there, just like I would like some
Do you
syrup.
want a Jocko Go or
Like
two
some-
smaller pants and a cortado?
I'd like some syrup for my croissant. My eggs Benedict.
Okay, I like both of those things. So
Well, yeah, but you would say more like, "Oh, can I get some syrup on my croissant
croissant.
and my eggs? My eggs."
a croissant. As the no, okay, you found a little shed.
I haven't had time to get out. I've been bunny hunting, but I haven't been shed hunting.
How are the bunny?
Good. I mean, we've been doing well. We shot 3 or 4 first trip, and then we shot 8 our last trip. So
Have the wolves been hurting the wabbit population?
the woofers have been hurting the wabbits.
Dude, when Hunter sends this picture of him just like all these bunnies laid out in front of him. First of all, I love the fact that you call them bunnies and not rabbits.
Yeah.
Second, it's this impressive picture of these 8 rabbits laying out in front of him, and he just sends back floof patrol. He laughs so hard.
Okay, so here's my question. So you skin them all out.
Yeah.
Do you ever tan the pelts? I feel like rabbit pelts are really, really nice.
It's actually really tough
Because they're so thin.
They're really thin and they just rip so
They do.
easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the field when we dress them, you just make a little incision, then you rip them apart.
Oh, I thought you were talking about dressing like Bugs Bunny in the cute outfit.
Oh no, I mean we do that sometimes, but no.
See, that would be worthy. I think that would be worthy of doing some homemade taxidermy.
Oh, dude.
It's like the next bunny you kill, keep one, and we'll go buy a rabbit for him.
Oh, that'd be funny.
And then we need to do
So like
just some kind of cracked out rabbit in here.
Giant eyes, just
Oh, dude.
Can we do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
we could try.
Little Franken bunny. So you guys eat the meat. How do
Oh yeah, eat the meat.
you prefer it? Like you like it, or is it just it's something that you do because you like bunny hunting and you don't want to waste the animal?
Well, one, I do love bunny hunting. It's
Yeah.
really challenging, and I mean, I get to spend time with my dad when I do it, so
Yeah.
I love it. But very mild flavor, but it just depends how you cook them. It's kind of like squirrel. It's pretty tough if
squirrel's
you
tough.
cook them wrong. But crock pot,
Yeah.
rosemary, cream of mushroom,
Ooh.
like you let it rip in there, and you've got a good meal. You put it over wild rice. That's what we do. So
A little Hassenpfeffer.
it's good. It's really good. But you got to make sure you pick out all the
Do you get like
shot
pounds or pound or ounce per bunny?
per bunny.
Or like, let's say you got a
It's
good
hard
bunny
to
season.
say.
How many can you get a day?
So the limit, I believe, is 5 per person.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Might be 6, but I think it's 5.
No, that's sturgeon.
I think it's 5.
This is what I want to do. I just and just like do the best that I can do, and then run with it.
I was just thinking we'd put one in like a sexy red dress and make it a little busty like Bugs Bunny.
I think it'd be cool to do just a head mount too, on a plaque.
with like way too big of ears,
Uh-huh.
like extra long ears. Just get a bunch of bunny ears and like sew them all together.
Yep. Good gracious. Oh, we could put little antlers on him, like make him a jackalope.
Yeah, jackalope.
Those are funny. Did anybody else go through a season in life where they thought they were real?
Yep.
A jackalope?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
jackalope never
I'm gonna
never
be
got you?
honest. No.
Oh man, dude,
never
I thought
got me.
I thought it was like something in Nevada. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you know, a male bunny's called a buck, a female's called a doe,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, sure, a bunch of other random things grow antlers out of their head. Why not that type of rabbit?
But like, how cool would that be?
Like we have antlers.
Dude, we got antlers smaller than that would fit on a bunny.
We just put the cape over Caddyshack.
Oh, that's funny. So you can get 5 per day. What's like a
5 per day.
What's a good bunny season for you and Pops? Like you guys are going to go out how many times and you're going to get how many bunnies in a season?
All right. So for us, we don't use dogs. We're old school. So we're busting
Straight
ourselves.
Kicking them.
Yeah, we kick the piles, we get in it, and we just love doing it because it when you get the return, it's more satisfaction from
Yeah.
it. So depends on the weather. We only hunt really when we get fresh snow. It's a lot easier to kill a bunny when there's snow.
Oh, dude, you can see them so much easier.
So like this year, we've only been out twice. I mean, it's just we haven't had much.
Dang, we're
And
screwed then to get our taxidermied bunny until next year.
Next fresh snow, we'll probably go out one more time, but I mean, we also think about population and stuff too, so we don't want to take too many. But
Yeah, our bunny population's up, down. Where are we at? Right?
yeah, I mean,
I feel like you see more recently.
What's the latest DNR harvest report?
let me just whip the calculations out.
I actually feel like I've been seeing less bunnies this year than I have in past.
Does that mean the coyotes are up? Coyotes and fox?
Coyotes are up.
I
Do you
mean,
remember when we used to plow snow down in Dart?
Yeah,
And dude, bunnies everywhere.
yeah.
I mean, you'd see 20 in a night just booking around. I almost brought a slingshot just to peg them in the middle of the night. Which actually, remember when you were plowing snow that one night and that woodcock flew into the wall?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw a woodcock.
Yep. That was a
Second
good- that
time
a
was
good
this
night.
summer.
Some guy named Jerry at the bar.
Nope. Name was Tom.
Nice.
He's
Guys,
like, I heard you got a cool road sign. You want to show it to me? I got extra small pants on. You can go drink cortados later. Put some syrup.
oh, guys,
I'm
thanks,
doing Jocko Go every podcast. This is phenomenal.
thanks for tuning in. Sorry about the rambling on today. Hopefully it was entertaining. If you learned something new, make sure to share the show with a friend because we only grow organically here. Check us out on Instagram. It's atasso.outfitters. That's where our link tree is at. That will get you to all of our socials, whether it be the podcast, the website. The full-length videos are on YouTube as well. So reach out to us if you have any thoughts on if justifying stealing the buttons off of the gas pumps is justifiable and or killing a trophy class moose in a national park. Drop in the comments. Give us what
Or
your
a
thoughts
regular
are.
class moose.
Or any kind of animal.
Yeah.
With that, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you later.
You're saying you've never been up to those little trout ponds in Charlevoix and caught the trouts with your hands?
The ones downtown?
Yeah.
No, I feed them like a normal human.
No, dude, I try to catch
You
them.
catch 'em?
Like Schmeagol and
Just-
Lord of the Rings. Oh, yeah, dude. Like every year, you just sit there and wiggle your finger and then it's like, wham.
I muted him. He said
he's saying
he said
too
enough.
much.
He said enough. Bye, guys.
Taxable.